The stars twinkled peacefully above the International Space Station as Captain James Turner completed his routine orbital observations. 20 years of space experience had taught him to recognize every piece of debris and satellite in Earth's orbit. That's why the unusual movement caught his eye immediately. "Houston, I'm tracking an unknown object at bearing 045. It's not matching any known orbital patterns," he reported, adjusting his telescope for a better view. "Probably space debris, Captain. We'll log it for tracking," came the casual response from Mission Control. Turner wasn't convinced. He'd seen enough space junk to know this was different. The object moved with purpose, changing direction in ways that defied natural orbital mechanics. As he watched, two more similar objects appeared, their metallic surfaces reflecting sunlight in an unusual pattern. Down on Earth, life continued as normal. People went about their daily routines, unaware that humanity's first contact with alien life was about to change everything. In New York, businessmen hurried to meetings. In Tokyo, night shift workers headed home under neon lights. In London, tourists snapped photos of Big Ben. The Villari observation fleet maintained their stealth protocols, confident in their superior technology. Their initial scans of Earth had revealed what they considered a primitive civilization, still burning fossil fuels, fighting among themselves, and barely reaching their own moon. Admiral Krell, leading the Villari expedition, had seen dozens of similar worlds fall easily to their might. "Fascinating," the Admiral noted, reviewing the scan data. "They've barely mastered nuclear fission, yet they've spread across their entire planet. Rather resilient for primitives." He moved his four-fingered hand across the holographic display, zooming in on various human cities. Back on the ISS, Turner worked through his sleep cycle, documenting every movement of the strange objects. He compiled enough data to prove these weren't natural phenomena. The objects maintained perfect formation, occasionally adjusting their position with impossible precision. "Houston, requesting another review of the orbital anomalies," Turner tried again. "I've documented at least 15 course corrections that violate known physics." This time, Mission Control paid attention. Within hours, observatories worldwide turned their attention to the coordinates Turner provided. The scientific community buzzed with speculation, but they kept the information contained to prevent public panic. The Villari watched this response with amusement. "See how they scramble," Admiral Krell commented to his bridge crew. "Yet they maintain communication discipline and information control. Perhaps they're not completely primitive after all." On day 3 of the observation, Turner noticed a change. The unknown objects had grown in number. He now counted over 30. They'd also moved closer, their formations becoming more aggressive. His heart raced as he realized what this might mean. "Houston, we have a situation," he transmitted, trying to keep his voice steady. "The objects are coordinating. This isn't natural, and this isn't human. We need to alert planetary defense immediately." This time, alarms rang across every major military installation on Earth. Emergency meetings convened in Washington, Moscow, Beijing, and other capitals. For the first time in human history, world leaders faced a potential threat from beyond their planet. Admiral Krell watched the humans' mounting anxiety with satisfaction. "They've noticed us. Good. Prepare the first wave of EMPs. Let's show them how hopeless resistance would be." As the sun set over North America, the first signs of the Villari's true intentions became clear. Their ships decloaked, revealing sleek, silver vessels larger than aircraft carriers hovering above major cities. The sight sent waves of panic through the populations below. Turner, watching from his unique vantage point, gripped his camera tightly. "God help us all," he whispered, documenting everything. His training kept him focused despite his fear. These images and data might be crucial for humanity's survival. What the Villari couldn't know, was that they'd made a crucial mistake. They had judged humanity by its technology, not its spirit. They saw the fossil fuels but missed the determination that had taken humans from caves to space in a mere 10,000 years. They counted weapons but couldn't measure courage. The invasion was about to begin, but so was the greatest surprise in Valari military history. The Valari's first strike came at dawn. Their ships released electromagnetic pulses over every major city on Earth. Cars stopped in the streets. Phones went dark. Power grids failed. In seconds, humanity's modern civilization seemed to crumble. Admiral Krell watched from his command ship, expecting immediate surrender signals. Instead, he witnessed something that made him uncomfortable. Humans were laughing at his attack. Colonel Robert Hayes stood in an old military bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around him, vacuum tube computers from the 1960s hummed steadily. The EMP attack that devastated modern technology had no effect on these ancient machines. "They think we put all our eggs in one basket," Hayes said, looking at his team. "Power up the old systems, all of them." Across the world, military bases thought long abandoned sparked to life. Cold War equipment, kept maintained just in case, proved immune to the alien attack. In Russia, tanks built in the 1970s rolled out of hidden bases. In Britain, radar systems from World War II began tracking the alien ships. "Impossible," one of Krell's officers reported. "The humans are still operating military equipment. Our EMPs should have destroyed everything." Krell slammed his fist on his command console. "How are they doing this? Their technology is primitive." The answer came in the form of an artillery shell that exploded against his ship's shields. The shot came from an old howitzer, technology so simple it needed nothing electronic to fire. More shots followed as humans discovered that sometimes older was better. In Chicago, police officers directed traffic with hand signals and whistles. Bicycle messengers carried information between military posts. Ham radio operators, using basic crystal sets, created a global communication network in hours. The Valari's second mistake came when they tried to land troops in New York. They expected panicked humans hiding in their powerless homes. Instead, they met citizens who'd grown up on stories of resistance, who'd spent generations preparing for the worst. They thought they could just walk in here. An old mechanic named Bill grabbed his hunting rifle. Around the city, thousands of others did the same. The aliens found themselves facing not soldiers, but angry humans protecting their homes. Hayes orchestrated the first organized counterattack. His teams had studied the alien ships for days now. "See those spots where their hull glows?" he told his artillery crews. "That's where their shield generators are. Aim there with the old shells." Nothing fancy, just good old-fashioned steel and explosives. The Valari shields, designed to stop energy weapons and smart missiles, struggled against simple kinetic impacts. Their technology was so advanced, they'd forgotten how to defend against basics. In London, the underground tube stations became command centers. People gathered there, organizing resistance with paper maps and mechanical typewriters. The aliens had expected chaos, but humans had practiced disaster response for centuries. "Sir," a Valari scanner operator reported to Krell, "the humans are using technology from their history museums to fight us. They're adapting faster than we can adjust our strategies." Krell watched in growing horror as his invasion force took unexpected losses. His ship's advanced targeting systems struggled to lock onto human forces using no electronics. Their combat computers couldn't predict strategies that seemed to make no logical sense. By sunset of the first day of actual combat, the Valari had lost 5 ships. Not to advanced weapons, but to humans using whatever they could find. Construction crews used crane hooks to tear at landing vessels. Farmers loaded their fertilizer into improvised bombs. "How?" Krell demanded, watching another ship fall to what seemed like primitive attacks. "How are they doing this?" The answer was simple, though the Valari couldn't understand it. Humans had spent their entire history preparing for the worst. Every generation had passed down knowledge of how to survive when technology failed. What the aliens saw as primitive backup systems, humans saw as tried and tested survival tools. As night fell over the battlefield Earth had become, humans worldwide shared a similar thought. The real fight hadn't even started yet. They were just warming up. Marine Commander Lisa Thompson watched through binoculars as another alien patrol walked into a trap. They never looked down. That was their weakness. The aliens always looked up, expecting attacks from buildings or the sky. They never expected danger from the sewers. Now, she whispered into her hand-cranked radio. The street erupted. Manhole covers, powered by simple compressed air systems, shot upward like giant coins. The aliens, caught completely off guard, stumbled. From the dark holes emerged humans with hooks and nets, tools as old as fishing itself. Within minutes, the patrol disappeared underground, their advanced weapons useless in the tight spaces. Command, this is Thompson. We have more samples for the science team. Across the world, humans had learned to fight smart, not fair. In Paris, resistance fighters used the ancient catacombs to move unseen. In Tokyo, they turned narrow alleyways into deadly traps. The aliens, used to open space combat, found themselves fighting an enemy that could be everywhere and nowhere. How do they keep disappearing? Admiral Krell raged as another patrol went missing. His ships could scan for energy signatures and heat patterns, but humans had learned to mask both. They used the city's natural temperature variations to hide, moved through water-filled tunnels to avoid detection. In New York, kids on skateboards became the best scouts. They could move quickly without power, signaling with simple mirror flashes. The aliens' complex communications were useless against these basic methods that required no technology to work. They're adapting too fast, Krell's science officer reported. Every time we develop a countermeasure, they find 3 new ways to fight. Deep underground, Thompson led a briefing in an old subway station. Maps covered the walls. Paper maps, immune to power loss and hacking. They're strong in open areas, she explained to her team. So we don't give them open areas. We fight where they can't use their strength. The humans' most effective weapon wasn't guns or bombs, it was knowledge. Every city had people who knew its hidden spaces, construction workers who remembered old tunnels, maintenance crews who knew every back alley. This was their home, and they used every inch of it. Watch how they walk, Thompson told her fighters. They're used to solid ground under their feet. They don't expect things to move. Her teams began using simple wooden boards to create false floors, collapsing walkways, and hidden pits. In Chicago, retired engineers taught youngsters how to make radios from scratch. In Mumbai, old hunters showed city folks how to set snares. Humanity reached back into its past, using skills that had seemed obsolete in the modern age. The aliens' frustration grew. Their sensors showed clear streets, but soldiers would vanish without trace. They'd secure a building only to find the humans had appeared behind them. Every door could be a trap, every window a trick. It's the small things that are killing us, a Velari commander reported. They're using the weight of our own armor against us, simple ropes and pulleys. Things so basic our sensors don't even register them as weapons. Thompson's favorite trick involved empty oil drums. Her teams would roll them down hills, making noise to draw alien attention. While the aliens focused their sensors on the drums, humans would move in the opposite direction. Simple, effective, and impossible to counter. They're not just fighting, Krell realized, watching another patrol fall into a hidden pit. They're teaching each other. Every success is copied and improved upon within hours. In her underground command post, Thompson received reports from around the city. Humans had captured more alien technology, but more importantly, they'd captured alien attention. While the Velari focused on finding hidden fighters, other humans were busy with an even more important task, one that would change the course of the war. Keep them busy, she ordered. The science teams need more time. Above ground, the aliens believed they were fighting a primitive species, Below ground, that primitive species was taking apart their technology piece by piece, learning, understanding, and planning the biggest surprise of all. The real war was just about to begin. Dr. Michael Anderson stood in what used to be a simple salt mine, now transformed into humanity's largest hidden factory. The cavern stretched for miles, filled with the sound of hammers, welders, and human determination. Here, 300 feet below the Earth's surface, people worked beyond the reach of alien sensors. "Another captured alien gun for you to study, Doc," a resistance fighter said, placing a twisted piece of metal on Anderson's workbench. The doctor picked it up, his eyes lighting up with interest. Every piece of alien technology was a new puzzle to solve. The underground had become humanity's greatest advantage. While the Velari controlled the surface, a whole new civilization thrived beneath their feet. Old mines, subway tunnels, and natural caves formed a network that connected cities and countries. "Look at this," Anderson said to his team, pointing to the alien weapon's power source. "They built it complex because they could. But we can make it simpler, stronger." His workers, a mix of engineers, mechanics, and everyday people, gathered around the table. In another part of the mine, children attended makeshift schools. Teachers used the walls of the cave to explain physics, showing how to calculate the force needed to disable alien shields using nothing but rocks and rubber bands. Education had become a weapon of war. "The aliens think we're hiding," Anderson told his assistant. "We're not hiding. We're building." Above ground, the Velari grew increasingly frustrated. Their scans showed no signs of large human populations in the cities. They couldn't understand where millions of people had disappeared to. Perhaps they fled to the forests, one alien commander suggested to Admiral Krell. Krell knew better. "No, they're here. But where?" Deep underground, Anderson's team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that alien technology, despite its advancement, followed basic physical laws, laws that humans had studied for centuries. Their shields stop energy weapons, Anderson explained to a group of workers. But they never thought to defend against steam pressure. He demonstrated with a makeshift steam cannon built from old pipes and pressure cookers. The blast could crack alien armor like an egg. The underworld became a maze of workshops. In one chamber, people melted down old cars to make new weapons. In another, grandmothers taught young engineers how to make cloth strong enough to deflect alien sensor beams, using weaving techniques passed down for generations. They relied too much on their advanced materials, Anderson noted, studying a piece of alien armor. "We can achieve similar results with Earth materials, just by being clever about how we use them." The aliens' frustration led to mistakes. They began using heavier weapons, trying to force humans out of hiding. But each blast only created more tunnels, more hiding places, more ways for humans to move unseen. "Every time they bomb us," Anderson said, watching the ceiling shake from another attack, "they make our network bigger. They don't understand that humans have been digging tunnels since we lived in caves." This is where we started. In the deepest parts of the mine, Anderson's greatest project was taking shape. His team had taken every piece of captured alien technology and broken it down to its basic principles. Now they were building something new, something that combined alien science with human ingenuity. "Sir," a young engineer called out, "we've found a way to power the alien engines using Earth metals. It's not as efficient as their power sources, but we can make hundreds of them." Anderson smiled. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They thought humans would try to copy their technology exactly. Instead, humans were rebuilding it their own way, simpler but more practical. "We're almost ready," Anderson told his team, looking at their creation. "The aliens think they've pushed us into these holes to hide. They don't realize we're down here building their worst nightmare." In his command ship, Admiral Krell felt uneasy. The human resistance was growing stronger, more coordinated. His soldiers reported facing weapons that seemed primitive but worked with deadly efficiency against their advanced technology. What he didn't know was that deep beneath his feet, humanity wasn't just surviving. It was evolving, adapting, and preparing to show the aliens why Earth should never have been underestimated. Dr. Anna Martinez stared at the alien shield generator on her workbench. Around her, in a converted high school science lab deep underground, dozens of engineers worked day and night. Captured alien technology covered every surface, each piece slowly giving up its secrets. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a glowing crystal in the shield device. "They use perfect crystals for power transfer. But what if we use imperfect ones, like diamonds with flaws?" She held up an old engagement ring someone had donated to the cause. The breakthrough came at 3 a.m., when most of the world above was sleeping. Martinez's team discovered that Earth crystals, though less perfect than alien ones, could store more power precisely because of their flaws. "It's like they never considered using imperfect materials," she told her excited team. "They always chose the purest, the most perfect. But nature doesn't work that way. Nature uses flaws to make things stronger." In his orbiting command ship, Admiral Krell received disturbing reports. Human weapons were starting to penetrate Villari shields, not with brute force, but with clever tricks that shouldn't have been possible. "How are they learning so fast?" he demanded. "It should take them decades to understand our technology." The answer was simple, though the aliens couldn't grasp it. Humans had spent centuries taking things apart and putting them back together. They didn't need to understand everything to make it work. They just needed to understand enough. "We don't need to copy them exactly," Martinez explained to military leaders in their underground bunker. "We just need to understand the basic principles. Then we can do it our way." Her team worked miracles with ordinary materials. They turned old microwave ovens into shield disruptors, car batteries wired together in clever ways, powered weapons that could match alien energy guns. Each discovery led to 3 more innovations. "They build everything so complicated," Martinez said, taking apart another alien device. "Look at all these extra parts. They never had to worry about running out of resources. But we humans, we know how to do more with less." The first successful human-made shield generator was ugly. It looked like a junkyard project, built from old car parts, modified crystals, and pieces of alien tech. But it worked. When they tested it, the generator created a shield strong enough to deflect alien weapons. "It's not pretty," Martinez admitted, "but it doesn't need to be. Beauty isn't going to win this war." Word spread through the human resistance. Underground factories began mass-producing Martinez's designs. They weren't exact copies of alien technology. They were better, simpler, more reliable, easier to repair. "The humans have shield technology," a Villari scout reported to Krell. "But it's different." "Wrong. They're using materials and methods that shouldn't work." Krell watched recordings of human shields in action. They flickered and hummed in ways Villari shields never did. They weren't elegant or efficient by alien standards, but they were effective. Martinez's next breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A plumber pointed out that alien power systems worked like water pipes. "If we think of energy like water flow," she realized, "we can find new ways to direct it." This led to weapons that the aliens had never imagined. Humans combined their new understanding of alien tech with centuries of practical engineering. They created hybrid weapons that use both human and alien principles. "Every time we capture their technology," Martinez told her team, "we don't just learn how it works. We learn how to make it work better." The aliens had never faced an enemy like this. Other races they'd conquered had either been too primitive to understand their technology or too rigid in their thinking to improve it. Humans did both. In his ship, Krell realized the terrible truth. They hadn't just given humans access to advanced technology. They'd given humans the tools to surpass it. "We need to stop them now," he ordered, "before they develop something we can't counter." But in her underground lab, Martinez smiled. She looked at her latest project, something that would change the course of the war. The aliens were about to learn that giving humans time to innovate was their biggest mistake. General Thomas Wilson stood in the Global Command Center, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around him, screens showed the positions of every alien ship on Earth. After months of hiding underground, humanity was ready to strike back. "All units report ready," his communications officer said. The officer used both an old radio and a new hybrid communicator built with reversed-engineered alien tech. Humans had learned not to rely on just one system. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike," Wilson ordered. Across the world, at exactly the same moment, humans emerged from their underground networks. But this time, they weren't running or hiding. The first wave caught the aliens completely by surprise. From the sewers of New York, human fighters wearing hybrid armor appeared. Their shields, built using Dr. Martinez's designs, glowed with an earthly green instead of the alien blue. "Impossible," Admiral Krell shouted as reports flooded in. "They're using shield technology that our weapons can't penetrate." The human shields, though rough and unpolished, worked better than Velari ones because they were designed to be imperfect, to bend rather than break. In Tokyo, construction workers turned warriors used modified cranes to pull alien ships from the sky. The cranes were powered by human-made versions of alien energy cells, giving them strength that no Earth machine had ever had before. "They're not just using our technology," a Velari officer reported in panic. "They're using it in ways we never thought of." Wilson watched as the battle unfolded. In London, human fighters used weapons that combined alien energy beams with simple gunpowder, creating explosions that could break through any defense. In Moscow, tanks retrofitted with alien tech rolled out of hidden bunkers. "Push them back," Wilson commanded. "Show them what humanity can do when we stand together." The aliens had expected to face primitive weapons or, at worst, copied alien technology. Instead, they faced something new: human innovation combined with alien science. Every weapon, every tactic was a surprise. "They've taken Paris," an aide reported. "Sydney is clear of alien forces. Rio de Janeiro reports total victory in their sector." In his ship, Krell watched in horror as his forces retreated across the globe. Human weapons shouldn't have been able to breach their defenses, but they did. Human shields shouldn't have been able to stop Velari weapons, but they did. "How are they coordinating these attacks?" he demanded. The humans were striking everywhere at once, using tactics that seemed chaotic, but worked with deadly precision. The answer was simple. While the aliens relied on complex battle computers, humans used something better: experience. Centuries of warfare had taught them lessons that no computer could calculate. "Beijing is liberated," another report came in. "Cairo is secure. They're falling back everywhere." Wilson allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had believed their technology made them superior. They never understood that technology was just a tool. What mattered was how you used it. "They're retreating to their ships," a scout reported, trying to regroup in the atmosphere. But humanity wasn't done. From hidden bases in mountains and deserts, new weapons emerged. Rockets built with human determination and alien power sources. Fighters made from Earth metals but powered by hybrid engines. "Launch the interceptors," Wilson ordered. For the first time, human aircraft rose to meet the aliens in the sky. They weren't as advanced as Velari ships, but they didn't need to be. They just needed to work, and work they did. Krell watched his mighty fleet retreating from ships made of Earth metal and human courage. "How did we lose to primitives?" he asked no one in particular. The answer played out before his eyes. Another wave of human ships rose from the ground. Humans hadn't just learned to copy alien technology. They'd learned to improve it, to make it their own. "All cities reporting in," Wilson's aide announced. "The surface is almost clear. They're running." Wilson nodded, but he knew this wasn't the end. Humanity had learned too much, grown too strong. They weren't just fighting to defend Earth anymore. "Prepare the next phase," he ordered. The stars awaited, and humanity was ready to rise. The sun rose over Earth's first space defense fleet. 50 ships, built in secret underground facilities, waited in orbit. They weren't beautiful like alien vessels. Their hulls were rough, made from Earth metals. Their engines glowed with a mix of human and alien technology. But they were humanity's ships, and they were ready. Admiral Mary Cooper stood on the bridge of the fleet's flagship, the Phoenix. Just 6 months ago, she had been a commercial airline pilot. Now she commanded humanity's first space fleet. "All ships report ready," her second-in-command announced. "The Villari fleet is still gathering at the edge of our solar system." In his retreating command ship, Admiral Krell received the most shocking news of his career. Humans have spaceships. Already, he watched the sensor readings in disbelief. That's impossible. It should take them decades. But humans had done what they always did. They adapted. Dr. Martinez's team had rebuilt alien engine designs to work with Earth materials. General Wilson's strategic command had trained pilots using flight simulators built from captured alien computers. "Launch the warning shot," Cooper ordered. A single missile shot from the Phoenix, crossing the distance to the alien fleet in seconds. It detonated just short of their ships, lighting up space with a new kind of weapon, one that combined Earth's nuclear power with alien energy technology. "They've weaponized their primitive atomic power," Krell's science officer reported in horror. "The energy readings are off our scales." Cooper's voice transmitted across space, reaching every alien ship. "This is Admiral Cooper of the Earth Defense Fleet. You came to our world thinking we were primitive. You thought our technology made us weak. But you taught us something important. Technology is just a tool. What matters is how you use it." On Earth, people gathered in rebuilt cities to watch the transmission. Screens showed their ships, proof that humanity had not just survived, but grown stronger. "We're not the same species you attacked," Cooper continued. "We've learned, we've adapted, and we're ready to take our place among the stars." In underground factories, production continued. Humans weren't just building weapons anymore. They were building ships to explore, to trade, to ensure Earth would never be vulnerable again. "Your technology was advanced," Cooper told the aliens, "but it was stagnant. You stopped innovating because you thought you were perfect. We take what works and make it better. That's what humans do." To demonstrate her point, she ordered a squadron of Earth's ships to perform maneuvers. They moved in ways alien ships couldn't, combining Earth's aviation experience with advanced technology. Their hybrid shields glowed with colors the aliens had never seen before. "We're giving you a choice," Cooper announced. "Leave our solar system and spread the word. Earth is not to be attacked again. Or stay and face a species that's learned to combine your technology with our determination." In his ship, Krell made the only choice he could. All ships, retreat, full speed. He had finally learned what his scans should have told him at the start. That any species that could adapt so quickly, learn so fast, and improve on advanced technology so efficiently was not to be underestimated. The alien fleet vanished into deep space, leaving humanity to its victory. But Cooper knew this wasn't the end. "Begin Operation Starfall," she ordered. Across Earth, new shipyards emerged from underground. Humanity had bigger plans now. They had seen the stars up close, and they were ready to explore them. "The aliens gave us a gift," Cooper told her crew as they watched the last enemy ships disappear. "They taught us that we're stronger than we knew. Now it's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." Earth's cities glowed with new power sources. Its people worked with new purpose. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger. Now they looked to the stars not with fear, but with determination. The age of Earth hiding in the galaxy was over. Humanity was ready to rise, to explore, to show every alien race that underestimating Earth was the last mistake they would ever make. The story of humanity's victory would be told across the stars as a warning. Never mistake technology for strength, and never, ever think Earth is an easy target.